Good afternoon. So, yes, Bodhicitta. So, what is that Bodhicitta? What is the definition? So first, very important to know exactly what the definition is, so that we can cultivate that mind. And here, in the Lamrim Chemo, the great the stages of path to enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa said this, the definition of the Bodhicitta. Although there are many disagreements about what these two are, know that the aspiration is earlier. Okay, so here talking about, the two is referring to the Bodhicitta has two aspects. One is the aspirational mind, and one is engaged mind, or aspirational Buddhi mind, engaging Buddhi mind, or aspirational Bodhisattva attitude, engaging Bodhisattva attitude. So the definition is, may I become a Buddha, or I will become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. So that is the definition of Bodhicitta, that the heart or the thought that expresses, may I become a Buddha, or may I will become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. Whenever you voice out from your heart that, then that is the Bodhicitta heart. And that, as long as you have not taken the Bodhisattva vow, it is the aspirational spirit that is present. So, how you define whether it is just an aspirational aspect of Bodhicitta or engaging Bodhicitta, and that will be defined by whether you are taking Bodhisattva vow or not. You can have that heart, but that heart becoming the actual, the aspect of the actual two, either of the two aspects of Buddhi mind or not, is what's it? Sorry. Yeah. So that expression from your heart, whether that becomes engaging Bodhicitta or just motivational Bodhicitta, is by whether you take this vow or not. So that's one way to define it. Then another way to define is, or not you are training in the deeds of the what was it? For as long as and that as long as you have not taken the Bodhisattva vow, is the aspirational spirit that is present, whether or not you are training in the deeds of generosity, etc. So another way to define whether you are, engaging in the practice of six paramita. If you're just expressing it but not really engaging in action or practicing the three types of generosity, three types of morality, three types of patience, three types of joyous effort, three types of concentration. So concentration, yeah, is I think two kind of concentration. Concentration that directed to develop special insight, and the concentration dedicated in the service of sentient being. Then wisdom of emptiness, where you are cultivating wisdom of emptiness, what you have learned in practice, like such as taking certain dedicated time to meditate on emptiness, such as like a space like emptiness, to do an absorption meditation on wisdom of emptiness. Then whenever you are in a post meditation, then everything that you engage through your five senses, interpreting or viewing them, as a dream-like, like being in the practice of illusion-like or dream-like emptiness practice. Then daily, to train yourself to be mindful in the Bodhisattva's conduct. Bodhisattva's conduct. Then train in single-pointed concentration to have control over your emotions, to have control over your mind, so that your mind can be always get directed only to perform, the perfect virtues, like such as training to develop shamatha. Even it can be just daily, training yourself in a single point of concentration. That's gradually, targeting to actualize shamatha, and that also not just to achieve shamatha, but for the purpose of actualizing special insight. Because the purpose of the Bodhisattva's practice is to actualize enlightenment. In order to do that, you need to overcome all the obstructions or the defilements along the 10 bhumis. And in order to do that, you need the serviceable meditative mind to utilize the wisdom of emptiness to eradicate the stages of the defilement, so that you can develop the 10 bhumis and actualize enlightenment. So, so just the shamatha, you can't do that. So the shamatha, when it becomes special insight, using the shamatha, serviceable mind, the meditation object as a wisdom of emptiness, and with the capability of sharp wisdom and concentrated wisdom, concentrated method. So the shamatha mind is the method aspect, and then the wisdom of emptiness is the wisdom. So the sharp wisdom with the method of serviceable mind of shamatha, then it becomes special insight, and only effective of overcoming the defilement. Then always have mindfulness, very dedicated, being always in the service of sentient being, like that. And then patient, patient in enduring sufferings, in the service of sentient being. Patient gathering perfect virtues, the altruistic virtues, not ordinary virtues, but altruistic virtues. All the virtues being altruistic virtues. And then patient to be in the service of sentient being, Then similar, the joyous effort in getting artistic virtues, joyous effort in serving sentient being. Then morality of abstaining misdeeds, even how tiny it may be, and morality of gathering virtues, even how tiny it may be. Then all that, dedicated for the well-being of sentient being, like 3 types of moralities. Then 3 types of like generosity, like such as material generosity, and generosity of Dhamma, generosity of your time, and effort in being in the service of sentient beings. So when you are living a life in that, while your heart is expressing, may I become Buddha, I will become Buddha. having that heart and engaging in those practice of six perfection, then that define that you have engaging bodhicitta, perfected bodhicitta, say the complete bodhicitta, complete bodhicitta, the both aspect of the expression as well as the engaging, like that. You only carry the heart, not living in the practice of six paramita, then your bodhicitta is just expression of bodhicitta, Then Tsongkhapa cited the Kamalashilas, the stages of meditation. As aspirational spirit enlightenment is the initial intent. May I become Buddha in order to benefit all beings. The engaged spirit is presented once you have taken the vow and engaged in accumulating the collections of merit and sublime wisdom. So collecting of merit through the 5 paramitas. Collecting the merit of wisdom is through the cultivation of the number 6, the paramita. So this is the definition. So in short, in short, the definition carry two aspect of mind. One aspect is that for you to become Buddha. The another aspect is that Buddhahood for the purpose of rest of the sentient beings in Buddhahood. So usually, when we say for the benefit of number of sentient beings enlightenment, may I be enlightened, may I become Buddha, or dedicating, may even in the practice of like motivation or dedication, that when we express like this, may this session of Dhamma discourse be the complete cause of numberless sentient beings enlightenment. So that already understood, carry the two aspect. One is by engaging in the altruistic purpose, is you lead yourself instead of full enlightenment, and that is for the benefit of the rest of the numberless sentient beings enlightenment. So whenever we dedicate, may this merit be complete cause of numberless sentient beings enlightenment, that also fulfill the two aspects of the attitude in order to qualify to be bodhicitta. So like that. So now, this heart of bodhicitta is not a simple practice. It's not a simple attitude. It carry great weight of value, benefits. Even in just the aspect of aspirational bodhicitta, it carry the value of perfected virtue. Perfected virtue, not ordinary virtue. So the benefit, again, the Shantideva's Bodhisattva's way of life, Bodhisattva Charya stated like this: the force of sin is great and extremely intense. Beside the spirit of perfect enlightenment, what virtue can overcome it? So how many great virtues may be out there? There are negative actions, negative karma that we have committed and carry the imprint in our continuum. Without bodhicitta, can be purified. You see, and not only that, the amount of the negativities that we have accumulated since beginner's lifetime is immeasurable. And how many other virtues we perform, it would take huge amount of time to purify them. But then, as a living being, we have no tolerance to bear the suffering that we go through in samsara, especially if we stay unpurified of those intense karma that committed to our 3 doors, such act of the 10 non-virtues. The heaviest one result in the hell realm. Within hell realm, also there are so many karma that which committed in the past to take result in Vajra hell, like that is unbelievable, unbearable karma. You see, so we cannot afford to, delay purifying them. The natural, the power of the karma, it carries to increase, every single moment. It has power to increase. It is increase. It is power to bring, the greater time, the greater intensity of the experience of the result. So, as far as concerned with the, even concerned with some small minor karma, in relation to our 3 doors, in relation to the 10 non-virtues, it can be the minor one. But then the nature of the karma, it carries, if you don't purify suitably, it becomes like a heavy karma. It becomes heavy karma, such as if we cause a life of like insect and not a human being, but as an insect. Even in the conventional understanding, causing life of a human being and causing life of ant, there's a huge difference, isn't it? Huge, there's no difference in having life, but there's a difference, the meaning of the life as an ant and meaning of life as a human being. So from that point of view, then causing the life of a human being is far more intense karma of killing, and it's a lesser to the end. But if you kill ant today, if you don't purify, then like such as like teachings in Abhidhamma Kosha, like emphasize that about 15 days time, then the intensity of karma is become like killing one human being. Killing one ant. If you don't purify, if you delay purifying it, 15 days time is equal power as a killing one human being. So that's just one example. So you can get this to echo, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, etc. So all the numbers, you can understand the same meaning like that. So therefore, without using the antidote of altruism, altruistic attitude and altruistic wisdom, no way effectively can purify or suitably can purify such a great amount of negativities. So from that point of view, like altruism is like must practice. Altruism is, like must practice, right away, you see. So not only that, the moment you generate, even as an ordinary person, by reasoning, not by even just by reasoning, guided by the language, the word, the instruction, then you try to feel it, the meaning of altruism, meaning of bodhicitta, and try to express it in your heart, in the voice of, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, or may I become Buddha for the benefit of, numberless sentient beings, enlightenment. Just that alone carry the impact like the fire at the end of an eon. It will instantly consume, grave sins. You see, so the altruistic attitude or altruistic wisdom. Altruistic wisdom is with that motivation, then you meditate on emptiness. With that, with the motivation of may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, then you lead yourself into a meditation on emptiness, for meditation on emptiness, or your experiences, you interpret in wisdom or emptiness, like such as, this like the 3 types of compassion. The compassion focusing on the compassion focusing on the nature of sentient being, understanding carry the limitations of, karma and delusion, and the suffering of pain, suffering of change, etc. Then you generate compassion. The second one is the compassion focusing on the phenomena, which is understanding why sentient beings are, because of the permanent grasping we discussed, yesterday, about the importance of impermanent wisdom, isn't it? So now you relate to sentient being, generate compassion on the basis of understanding why I need to generate compassion to sentient being. The reason is the reason to know sentient beings suffering, because of sentient beings carry permanent grasping to the life, permanent grasping. Because of that, they suffer. Or then you generate compassion, and you cause them, you condition them to liberate from that bondage of suffering by revealing by giving Dhamma generosity, by revealing the Dharma, or first nurture with generosity of material gift, and then offer the then liberate them by the generosity of Dharma, then so like that. So then the third one is you generate compassion in the reason of the sentient beings not realizing the true nature of self and phenomena. Why sentient beings suffer? Because of ignorance, because of not understanding the absolute nature of self and phenomena. Then you generate compassion. You see. So the third level, when for the benefit of liberating that sentient being, then you generate compassion in the third level of compassion, in understanding of the wisdom of emptiness. So then that become the altruistic wisdom, in generating altruistic wisdom, or simply benefit the suffering sentient being, and understand the same nature with the rest of the numberless sentient being, wanting to liberate them. Then, in that sense, reciting even just one mantra or mani padme hum, focusing on your pet, your dog or cat, or any person who need your help, and having the what do you call it, the altruistic attitude, the reaching out, the compassion or the love to all sentient beings, after their benefit, including enlightenment. So that way, then you generate bodhicitta. So just by doing that, it carry the power, it carry the power to purify immeasurable negative karma of the past and heavy karma of the past. You see, so then giving example like the altruistic attitude and altruistic, virtue from altruistic attitude and altruistic wisdom is like a fire, the fire of end of eon, which regarded is the hottest. It can even burn, big mountains, and even it can burn oceans. Even water will be burned. It's like when at the end of the exhaustion of the world, very much will exhaust by the end of the eon fire. So the bodhicitta and altruistic attitude carry that kind of power. You see, so even we don't have much time and don't know much other dharma, other practices, but as long as you know bodhicitta, as long as you know the definition of what bodhicitta is, and each time you express it in your heart, even intentional level, even as an expression of bodhicitta, it carries the power of purifying immense of negative karma and heavy negative karma. From that point of view, then can't wait to generate the bodhicitta. Can't delay generating bodhicitta, cultivating bodhicitta. If even those who think, if even those who think I will clear away just the headache of living being, have such a beneficial intention that they receive immeasurable merit, then what is there to say of one who aspires to clear away the immeasurable unhappiness of each being and to endure each with immeasurable good qualities? I say. So when you targeted the compassion just one person, it carries immeasurable merit. Now, if you aspire to, alleviate the suffering of the entire numberless sentient being, then no question, how great merit that you're going to accumulate. And when it comes to even our own individual benefit, without asking, you see, the suffering experiences is all are the result of negative karma. Happiness experiences is all the result of virtuous merit. You see, so even for selfish reason, just for your own purpose, just to clear away all the problem, actualize all the happiness and all the benefit, the best method is to cultivate bodhicitta. You see, because when you cultivate bodhicitta, you create great source of merit, and the result of the merit is abundantness of happiness and the resources to the happiness that comes in your way. And if you cultivate the bodhicitta selflessly, then even greater merit, because of the nature of the attitude itself, carry. When the nature of attitude, even you express that for your own selfish purpose, also carries so much, much greater merit, much greater benefit than rest of the other virtues. You see, so they say, I want to be happy, I want to have all the comfort of the world. Then you go and look for resources to actualize that. Then you cultivate bodhicitta next. You cultivate bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. The initial motivation is limited. It's just for yourself. It's not altruism. But then for that purpose, but then you generate bodhicitta. But bodhicitta is wholeheartedly dedicated for the rest of the numberless sentient beings' well-being. Makes help you to accumulate huge amount of merit, and that will naturally deliver all benefit you ask for yourself for. You see, so even for the selfish purpose, you express bodhicitta is so beneficial. But especially if you express bodhicitta with the selfless and only benefit of the rest of sentient being, then you'll be much more powerful. All other virtues are like a plantain tree. After bearing fruit, they perish. But this spirit of enlightenment, like a wish-containing tree, always bear fruits and never dies, but flourish. It's like that. So whatever virtue, whatever virtuous action infused by bodhicitta motivation, then that merits, the impact of that virtue lasts until to the last sentient being who is going to become Buddha. It's like lasts forever. You see, until to the last person actualized state of full enlightenment. So like that. So there are, some, certain parameter teaching. There's a debate. In order to, last the impact of the merit accumulated through bodhicitta till forever lasting, it requires the dedications of, it has to be sealed by emptiness. Otherwise, even it is altruistic, meritorious merit, if negative emotion like anger arises, it will practice it, But then, based on the Shantideva, then as long as you dedicate in altruistic attitude, even without sealed by emptiness, it is still lasts forever. So basically, both are actually not contradictory. On top of dedication in altruistic attitude, then if you seal with the emptiness, you will be even better. Because you create a greater merit in relation to the altruistic wisdom. That's a greater merit as the benefit. But if you are unable to do that, just dedicating an altruistic attitude already serve the benefit of bearing the result, until to the last century become Buddha, and ever flourishing after that, without even remembering it, without even putting any effort. The moment you generate one time, and that merit lasts forever. And not only that, it is also action. There's a karma, it is measured karma. By its nature, similar negativities, it also carries the power of increasing. It is effect, the power. It's like that. So these are the benefit. So you can read the first chapter in the Buddhism of the Charya. They are reading, reflecting, listening. The benefit of Bodhicitta is one of the important factors that Lama Atisha emphasized to sustain the Bodhisattva precept. Such as Bodhisattva vow, not only for this life but also for future lifetimes. So you educate your heart again and again, remembering the benefit, and that carry the imprint in our heart. Eventually, it becomes natural to us, and that helps to sustain, the Bodhisattva precepts, like that. Any questions? No questions. You get everything by mumbling. Purify our karma of the past. In the past. Oh yes, definitely. You see, generally for the purification of the karma, especially from the Vinaya Sutra, emphasize to actualize the four opponent power, the practice of four opponent power. But from the Paramita Sutra also talks about four opponent power, but just cultivating bodhicitta alone, just cultivating altruistic attitude or altruistic wisdom alone is complete of all the opponent power, and it purifies, even heinous crimes. No question about this, other minor karma. And if you able to do some meditation, even you cultivate bodhicitta, but if you can integrate the four opponent power with bodhicitta practice, then that would be even more meaningful. So the first opponent power is opponent power of reliance. The second one is the power of regret. Third one is power of antidote. Fourth one is power of reframing. And when you meditate, when you integrate practice, the second power put first. The power of regret should come first. So first, if you ever to, then for the most effective purification, if you remember or if you at least doubt, that I'm quite sure, after learning all the teachings on the karma, roughly we will know, whatever is happening in this life, that you can roughly determine what kind of action I will commit in past. Then also knowing about the, many, the numberless of rebirth in different realm, like such as, there are many times we have even born in the Vajrayana. So that also shows that we have committed, such heavy karmas. So if you can spot one is, if you remember, then you use that as like kind of substance for purification, like kind of an object that directly target. Then together, then whatever other karma out there, or other karma that coming from the past, then I'm going to, purify it. First you know that those negative karma as acknowledged as a negative. You see, for the limitation of those negative karma, need to need to know. So that is the power of regret. Generally, the mind of regret is negative, delusional, and which is not to cultivate it. But here, regret towards negative action is a virtue. So when you regret of negative action, negative karma, it becomes virtue, and it's beneficial. You see, and if you regret of negativity in the negative actions, it doesn't cause further what you call negative impact. But if you generally be in a heart of regret, like regret about the normal life, and that emotion, it carries the bringing impact of suffering. Regret towards negativity actually brings liberation. You see, so so then after acknowledging the negative as false, negative as harmful, then negative is negative, and that has to be purified. Then you actualize the literal way is the first opening power. Now here for meditation, the second opening power. That is the power of reliance. So it is if you want to do that from Vajrasattva practice, and you visualize Vajrasattva, you don't have initiation, Vajrasattva in front of you or on top of your crown, and that can be done even without initiation. Why Vajrasattva? Because Vajrasattva is embodiment of purification of all the 3 times Buddhas. Because of that, it carries a special benefit whenever we need to do purification. So then, if you have initiation, then you can do according to sadhana. But otherwise, just front generation or visualize on the top, and then the third power, the power of antidote, you meditate on Bodhicitta. You express Bodhicitta with this power antidote, or you express the altruistic wisdom, as I mentioned before, such as the third, the aspect of compassion, like that. And then the fourth one is power reframing. For power reframing, you need time. If there's a negative karma that in whichever environment that you be, as long as you're mindful that you will not commit it, then say, for the rest of my life, even course of my life, I won't commit them. Again, if there's certain negative actions that which even you don't know which to commit, you see the flaws, but then environment, that you can't escape the environment, then you somehow you may fall into committing this action. Then at least during the meditation, until I finish the meditation, that even course of my life, that I will not commit that. So then that complete for open power. So then, yeah. So since even negative karma, negative karmic imprints are lack of substantial existence and very much hold in our system, very much by the grasping as inherent, and that's why bring more negative emotions, and that those negative emotions make us hallucinate, and from there make us commit a lot of mistakes, then a lot of problems comes our way. But once you do the purification, then try to really hold this confidence that I have definitely purified, and sometimes, I mean, more in most way, the human general ups and downs will carry on. as long as we have human body, isn't it? Then how come I provide all the karma, but still problem still there? So you can console yourself. These are the definite karmic result. You see, definite karmic result meaning definite to experience result, which is true. Once we are born into samsara by the force of karma and delusion, then it's definite to go through old age, definite to go through sickness, and definite to die. You see, so these are definite. You see, but as far as concerned with the samsara, which is the suffering that your awareness experience it, like your mind experience it, as a human body, human physical aggregates is the main basis to suffer. But as far as concerned with our consciousness, still can obtain liberation. See, so there are many practitioners, have displayed by, like Milarepa, many great masters. They're still clearing the past definite karma, which is came into the human body. Until they perish their body, they still need to go through the human problem, the decaying body, the death, etc. But these masters, they already achieved liberation. They even initially they are ordinary person, but then by practicing, in some part of their life, they have enlightened, but still carrying the human body. You see, so that means they don't suffer. Whatever physical suffering that they go through is like kind of like a, how to say, it's not affected the core being. It's just like kind of like a, how to say, like like tangible, the phenomena like such as like a wall, you just scratch it, you don't feel any pain, is it? You have a grasping to the wall, that the grasping person feel pain. When someone scratches your car, the car has no feeling. But owner of the car, if you're grasping, you feeling. But if you don't have grasping, scratches your car, so you don't have feeling, you don't feel pain, isn't it? So similar way. So therefore, since the nature is lack of inherent existence or substance existence, there's no substance that it is inherently, there as a negative. It's more of our unpurified mind's establishment. So through purification, once done purification, then you can choose to completely liberate from that karma. You see, so this is your choice. Some they practice, but they choose to not to liberate themselves. So that's individual problem. I've generated bodhicitta. I've used antidote of emptiness. Then it still hold back on all the baggage of the past karma. So it's like very much you choose to. But in actual fact, if you choose not to, in fact, literally, able to purify. It makes sense?
Something. How does that all apply with regards to the karma that's precipitated in this life that you're working through till you die? Does it change that at all?
Oh, yes. Through purification, it reduce the duration of time and also reduce the intensity of the suffering. So purification is still beneficial even to the definite karma.
So you might live less time once you purify because you
less time suffering. It doesn't mean shorten your life. No, lifetime. If you want shorter time, also can provide. Yeah.
Just in that last one where you were talking about the environment being up and down, whether or not there are environments like, say, I'm thinking like where you're under a lot of pressure and it's causing you to maybe behave or speak in ways that you're trying to not do, like whether there comes a point where that environment is actually not conducive to a good practice, or that family situation, or that social situation. At what point is it a opportunity to practice and to develop versus an environment which is actually making things less conducive for your own development?
Okay. So again, this is depend on what sort of practice that you are cultivating, and what level of practice that you are in. As far as concerned with the the individual liberation vows, precepts, practices, Vinaya precepts, the external conditions are conducive conditions, like very peaceful, very protected, secure, is very important. Like you can see that from some of the like if you go to Sri Lanka, Thailand, those very serious Theravada individual liberation practitioners, you see. But then, as far as concerned with the Bodhisattva practice, the Bodhicitta practice, of course, the initial level, if you are not confident in your practice, then you need that environmental, comfortable environment to first prepare yourself, develop. Once you are confident to the sustainability of the practice, then in fact for Bodhicitta practitioner, all places is conducive, even very destructive place, negative place, harmful place, as long as you can be in the service of sentient being, then what kind of sentient being, what kind of environment is all conducive, So even in the hell realm for Bodhisattvas is the most conducive place. I mean, one of very important place for them to be. So many Bodhisattvas in the past who aspire for them to, they hardly aspire them to be in the Pure Land. As long as I be in the service of sentient being, then I should be there. Or many, almost all Bodhisattvas, they make an aspiration to be born in the most difficult places. Bodhisattvas, they pray to be born in the hell realm. But because of the power of that attitude, the Bodhisattvas are always born in a better place. So it's like that. Yeah. So even in our case, if you are really well established of the attitude of bodhicitta, even though not become bodhisattva yet, then the difficult people, difficult environment is in fact most conducive to train quickly, swiftly get trained. It's very much like when you look at the adverses, then the expressions of the negative side, all those are actually the best environment for the Bodhisattvas to develop. Be among ingratitude people, and like etc. Then there you can express all the attitude that express the verses, and that's how that you swiftly develop these stages in altruism. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
I have a question. As I will be studying overseas, for now I'm not living in a nunnery. So sometimes there will be moments where I won't be able to attend Sojong. In that case, can I use Vajrasattva practice or another practice to purify the vows, or what can I do in that case? Thank you very much, Geshe.
For the Sangha, to show the transgressions, if there is opportunity, then it's must confess in the Sojong. then you cannot choose any other ways. But if there's no Sangha community that who performs sojong in your area, and then there's no means or not possible for you to go and attend sojong, then yes, bodhicitta. You choose the bodhicitta. Generally, the bodhicitta, in general Dharma content, then bodhicitta surpass all the other Dharma. Bodhicitta even surpass individual liberation precepts, in the Sangha precepts. There's a given example. Let's say there's a big river needed to be crossed. Then in the middle of the river, let's say one opposite sex that what we call the unable to cross the river and about to wash away by the river. And as ordinance Sangha, you cannot touch below below the waist to the opposite sex. Then in the practice of compassion, in the practice of bodhicitta, then there you have to choose. As a bodhicitta, if any suffering sentient being, anyone is difficult, you need to protect them. You need to save them, isn't it? So here you overpower the bodhicitta, overpower the Vinaya precept, and then you don't get transgression in relation to the individual liberation precept as a Sangha precept. So there are certain cases like that. And that doesn't mean that you don't get transgression what the precept have emphasized, but comparing the benefit you have, the meritorious benefit you have accumulate, and the transgression that you accumulate is like this. You see, so the transgression is still there. You need to purify, but it's so minor. But the benefit that you have actualized is unbelievable, great. Then there are also such other example. This one story. One fully ordained Sangha was at the crossroad. Then there's one hunter chasing after deer. Chasing after deer. So the monk knew which direction the deer went. So saving a life of sentient being in the concern of their well-being is the attitude of compassion, attitude of bodhicitta. But then lying, in general ethic also, you commit negative. Then in the contents of the Sangha precept, you're not supposed to lie. You commit heavy karma. Then in any practice, then the concern of the life of someone in the expression of compassion is much more greater purpose, greater merit. So in that sense, the monk lie, but then save life of the deer. And so again, it doesn't mean that this monk didn't commit the karma of lying, but it's so minor. Then also the story of the Bodhisattva, the Minadudum, who saved the 500 merchants. It's a manifestations of the Bodhisattva who is clairvoyant, knew this one guy they're going to have intent to kill all the 500 merchants. So then this Bodhisattva, concerning the heavy karma of this killer are going to suffer, and as well as how many of life will be lost. So Bodhisattva in fact killed the one man and saved 500. So how can Bodhisattva kill? But then comparing weighing the karma, weighing what is bad. So in our life, in our practice, there's so many cases comes like that. So we need to weigh. But as far as concerned, individual liberation precept, Buddhist precept surpass. So you must go to confession ceremony, sojong. Even it can be just once a year or a few years time, sometimes if you think that certain transgression happen, then you can jot down. Because for the confession sojourn, you need to express it. You need to know what mistake of the Sankava you've done. You need to express it. In the past, you have expressed loudly to the community, but nowadays they don't do that. At least, you express it the moment that, ask you to remember. Then the community, in the assemblies community of the Sangha, you purify. So even it can be a few years later, but in doing, then engage in the four opponent power practice and use the antidote as a bodhicitta, like that. Okay, thank you. Yes, sure.
What's the text you're drawing?
This one is Mrim Chemo, second volume. Yeah, but I'm not going page by page. I'm just hop on and off. I'm going everywhere. Okay, since I'm going everywhere now, where I am. Okay, yes. Now better talk a little bit about the 7 cause and effect. As far as consolidation, I already mentioned this morning, and so it says. Yeah. So whichever technique that you use, either 7 cause and effect or 4 points of exchanging with the other, you need the foundational training, and that is to train in the balancing of this 3 partial attitude by the cultivation of the equanimity in the expressions of compassion. Later there's also a development of compassion, but in initial level, you express compassion to all sentient beings, on the basis of reasoning yourself, your own limitations of samsara, and then that gives similar reason to the rest of the loved one first, then the neutral one, then including to the enemy. So then that help to how to say, very much create I don't know how to say the word, like fertile ground, like you before you plant any crops, then you level it, you throw away all the pebbles, and you nurture the dig the soil, make it very smooth. Then whatever seed that you want to plant, and it grow, isn't it? So similarly, so this 3-part attitude, excessive attachment to the one, excessive attachment to yourself, then aversion to the others, then excessive attachment to the loved one, excessive aversion to the enemy, then the complete neglection of the rest of the neutral people, neutral beings. So that those are like a pebble in the ground. So while you have that, then the realization on the stages of the six causes and the result 7 bodhicitta, won't able to grow in your system. You see, so so you here you reasonalize why you need to be an object of your compassion, because you are in samsara. You are completely bound by the control of others' power, like karma delusion. You see, and that plays the same reason to others. So there's others and yourself, no difference. No difference. You see, so there's a reason. Maybe at the moment you have not developed complete conviction of the rest of the others has been your mother. That's one of the steps that you need to develop later. But at least you and others have similar mindset, similar feeling, similar purpose in life. One thing happens, do not want suffering. This is the same purpose, and there's no difference. So why I have to be so selfish? Why I can't feel for others? Just educate yourself, then try to at least balance of these two, the partial mind, the excess attachment, self-centered attachment, and excess aversion or negation. Then among the 3 type of beings, again to the loved ones, because of my family, because of my friend, because of someone being nice to me, so they are object to be helped. They are object of my kindness, my generosity, my help, my compassion, my prayers. But then as an enemy, they harm me. So therefore, they should be discarded. The rest of the neutral beings, it's nothing to do with me. Why I should dedicate merit for them, why I should be kind to them. I don't remember they've been kind to me. So then again, put yourself in the reason. This is the similar reason. All these three type of beings carry the similar purpose in life, like how your family members carry the purpose of life is to be happy, not to encounter suffering. The enemy also is the same. The neutral being also same, and not just a human being, but also animal also carry the same, same purpose in life. The only different color, different body, in different region. But at the end of the day, logically thinking, everyone carry the same purpose in life, same purpose. So in that understanding, then, your heart of compassion is kind of pervasive to all in that level of understanding, So you develop this heart equanimity. Then on top of that, then on that, now, then you develop the first of the the 6 causes to develop bodhicitta, recognizing all sentient beings as your mother. Then second one is remembering their kindness. Then the third one, repaying their kindness. Then repaying their kindness in the practice of compassion, in the practice of love. Then in the practice of taking full responsibility by myself alone to ready to look after them, care for them, help them, liberate them. You see, then it result bodhicitta. You see, so that's similar to the 4.7 changing. First, you neutralize, the heart of equanimity. Then you start to exercise in your heart to pay more attention to others' well-being. Start with your loved one, then to the neutral one, then to the enemy. Then pay less attention to your own individual alone, benefits. Then in order to make more impact of that earlier concern, then you start to reflect on again, the purpose of everyone is the same, like yourself, your happiness, you do not want suffering. Where the suffering comes from is cherishing your self-centered purposes. In fact, all the happiness, comes from cherishing others' well-being. You see, so especially first focus on seeing all the limitations of self-cherishing, grasping, and meditate on that until that you come to a point that you're really convinced it's like that. And then move to the next level. See the advantage of cherishing others, all the benefit of temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness and enlightenment. And then the fourth one, actually exchanging self with others, means the completely loss is self-centered interest and completely dedicating your life in the service of sentient beings' well-being. Motivational level in action, everything, its entirety of your effort, your time, your life, and be in the service of other sentient beings, like how all the past Bodhisattvas have displayed, how all our precious gurus have, the Geshe Tenzin Zopa have done like that. Then bodhicitta will develop as a result of that. You see. So then Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Tsongkhapa introduce or suggest the combining of the two methods together, and also emphasize the importance of supplementary practice. So that is very much like become a third kind of ways that you can train, and that which is again the preparatory practices, to have this sense of equanimity in your heart. Then on top of that, then train through the 7 cause and effect up to the number 5. Then move to the 4 point exchange with other, train through all the 4 points. Then once you complete the 4 point, then you move to the number 6 from the 7 point cause and effect, train in number 6. Then after that, then the supplementary practice is the Tonglen practice, the practice of taking and giving, to train in Tonglen practice. So that will, help to clear if there's any, subtle obstacles that obstacling to resolve the bodhicitta, because the Tonglen practice carries very powerful tools to purify the karma, accumulate the merit, which need, in order to develop this marvelous heart of bodhicitta. So to train in Tonglen practice, then bodhicitta will be result like that. But then some individual, they choose, one of the. So if you choose the 7 point cause and effect, when you accomplish that training, indirectly you also accomplish the 4 point training. You see. So then similarly, if you choose the 4 point training, if you feel like you have more connection to Shantideva, if you feel like you have more connection to Nagarjuna or Manjushri, then there may be huge reason for your spiritual development. Then you can choose the 4 point self-exchanging with others. But if you feel that you have a special connection with Mahatisha, like especially like Tibetan Buddhism, and then which from all the tradition, all the 4 traditions of Tibetan Buddhism are the lineage that came from Atisha. You see, so if you feel connection to Lama Silingpa, connection to Asanga, connection to Maitreya, then you can choose to train in the 7 point cause and effect. And if you feel especially in Lamrim, Lama Tsongkhapa is specifically focused on the 7 point cause and effect, because Lamrim is very much commentary to the root text, the lamp on the heart, the Atisha. So the lineage directly came from Atisha. So that's why emphasize more on the 7 point cause and effect. And then in Bodhisattva's way of life, Shantideva, yes, there is a practice and cause and effect, but the main focus is on the 4-point, the self-changing training, like that. So as a pit instruction or instruction in lineage Lama Tsongkhapa, but then you combine both, and also supplement the Tonglen practice. So from the instruction Lama Tsongkhapa, you can also understand that if you are choosing either of the technique, then Tonglen practice you can include as supplementary practice. You see that understood, even though not directly mentioned, but you understood. So like that. Any question? No. Okay. So maybe 5 minutes. Then after we will take break. So now you see, the training, the on base, it really play a crucial, was a very important practice. The neutralizing of the excessive 3 partial attitude. So I have to take some time to meditate on that. Until you start to see very much respectful attraction to, equal respectful attraction to almost everybody. Everyone you see, everyone you think of it. And even suddenly your previous, your so-called enemy comes your way, you suddenly kind of, you're not like before. There's no reaction of aversion. There's no aversion reaction. You can see attractive. Attractive in the sense that you have the courage to smile. Don't have to say I love you. Maybe you may get into trouble, but at least like give a nice side smile. If you're not ready to face directly, then okay. I think my ground is prepared. Then also another aspect of this, preparing ground is able to have a concern of the well-being of all type of people, all level of people, rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, small or big. In that level, you see equal. If that's equal. That one person is, going through intense suffering or pain, maybe pain or wound. There's another person, Rocky Rock disco dancing. Then there's another maybe there's no sort of example. So what's the example of suffering of change? Or maybe like eating too much Bhutanese food. That's quite rich, isn't it? A lot of butter, a lot of cheese, a lot of chili. So someone is like enjoying this particular one Bhutanese food is called emandatsi or emandatsa. So it's always put cheese, then put a lot of chili. So it's very much like must have. Without that, it's like not qualified to be Bhutanese food. But the consequences of eating that, it can be quite harsh. And also the impact doesn't take immediately. It exactly is a one day. So maybe someone is enjoying emandatsi, Bhutanese food, and there's another one is completely taking, in a peak of success, to do with fame, to do with position, to do with money, relationship. Is like it's as if it's like there's no suffering, no problem in this person. You see? So when you look at these 3 different people, you see exactly the same aspect of suffering. You see, and that suffering is suffering of pervasive compounded suffering. You see, not defining based on the pain, the suffering of pain, also not defining based on suffering of change, is defining inequality based on the understanding of the pervasive compounded suffering, the control of the karma and delusion. It's all in the same boat, same journey. You see, it's just a matter of time. This someone that it conventionally looks like no problem at all will get sick one day. Will go through this suffering of change, suffering of pain, and the death, equal. You see, and very much of losing all the glory. You see, even the person who is going through the suffering of wound, you see that after we pass away, the entire body will be either burned, either buried, eaten by worm. It would, like every single thing will be perish, isn't it? So from understanding the samsara in this different type of people, then whoever you see, how happy they are, you still feel for them. You still feel for them in the attitude of compassion. You compassion them. You see, the degree of compassion to the person who is going through suffering of pain is same degree you're able to develop to the most successful person. Then there you know that your impartial attitude about others is like now equalized. Like you have very much trained in equanimity. Then now that also trained with animal. Now human and animal, there's a lot of like kind of important differentiations. You don't see any difference. You see different size, different color, different body. But then as long as it's samsara, realm, doesn't matter where they're coming from, animal realm or hungry ghost realm, hell realm, God, demigod, everybody carry the similar level of karma. Some is ripening now, some will ripen later, just a matter of time. Because there's not even one single negative karma have not committed by any living being in the samsara. You see, this similar goes also. There's not even one single virtuous karma we have not committed. Also equal. You see, the proof of that is everybody carries Buddha nature, isn't it? Buddha nature. So Buddha nature, Buddha nature is a pre-existent Buddha potential. There's nothing externally need to awaken it. As long as you clear all the dirt, and there's nothing more extra to discover than that Buddha nature as a Buddha than anything else, isn't it? There's nothing kind of need to add some colors or some light spots. There's nothing, isn't it? So so that shows that in fact we have accumulated. We have the virtue accumulated of all the virtues. Similarly, we also have a karma of all the negative karma that are committed in the past. So we are in junction very much like which direction you want to go. It's very much in the process of accumulating conditions to complete the karma. So therefore, any sentient being that you see, as long as they are not, liberating themselves by antidoting of the dharma or whatever, it's just a matter of time. We just circle within the 6 levels. Sometimes become like God. Sometimes in the hell, the hell being will become God. The God will go to the hell. So it's like that. We've been doing that for numberless lifetimes in the past, isn't it? So from that point of view, then you see no difference. No difference. As long as you're in the 6 sentient being, no difference. You see. So then you look at everyone equally, in equal, what do you call the compassionate attitude. So that also proves that you are really, foundation is set. Then after that, the biggest thing among all these 7 causes, in fact, the first one is the hardest, recognizing all sentient beings as mother. So we discussed that after the tea. You better drink good tea. If there's a tea, good tea, because that you really need to bite hard. Okay. You may sweat, so better drink a lot of liquid, so much you sweat. Yeah. So the first one from the 7 cause and effect is this: cultivating recognition that all beings are universe. Amazon said, because self-existence is beginningless, your birth are also without beginning. Therefore, you have died and been reborn time and time again. There's absolutely no kind of body which you have not assumed in self-existence. There's absolutely no place where you have not been born. And there's no person who has not been a relative such as your mother. And as cited by the Asanga's level of yogic deeds, I have difficulty seeing a place wherein you have not been born, go to, or died in the distant past. I have difficulty seeing any person in the distant past who has not been your father, mother, uncle, aunt, sister, master, abbot, guru, or someone like guru. Then Lama Tsongkhapa again continue saying, moreover, all beings have not only previously been your mother, but also be your mother in the future, limitless numbers of time. Reflecting upon this and become convinced that all beings have been mothers, once you develop this conviction, you will then easily remember their kindness and so forth. If you do not recognize all sentient beings as your mother, you will have no basis for remembering the kindness. So, so first of all, see, from this 7 cause and effect, as already mentioned before, the basis, the equanimity, the impartial kind of attitude should be the base. Then on top of that, then have to develop realization of recognizing all sentient being as your mother, as given the reason here. But first of all, we need to establish this very respectful, loving, compassionate, and affection in relation to our present life's mother. If you have already have a very close relationship with your present life's mother, well done. That's much easier. But if in case, and some people, do experience difficult relationship with your present life's mother, then for such a situation, someone as a practitioner of Mahayana Dharma, which essence Dharma is the altruism, bodhicitta, without succeeding in that development of bodhicitta, can't fulfill the purpose of the practicing Mahayana Dharma, because won't able to actualize full enlightenment for the benefit of sentient being. And without bodhicitta, we can't be perfected in practice of 6 paramita. And if that is not, then whatever benefit we offer to others is carry limitations. So therefore, whatever relationship that you may have with your present mother, whether they are living or whether they are no more with us physically, but the attitude of deepest respect, unconditional love, and genuine compassion, and complete attraction for your mind to express affection, genuine affection. So that is very much must. Without doing that, Then the rest of the reason that emphasized here by Matsukapa, by Asanga, and all the the teachings in the Paramita Sutras in relation to this topic, it's very hard to develop, very hard to succeed in developing the realization on recognizing all sentient beings as your mother. It's not possible. I see. So, and from practical point of view, from human, good human beings' point of view, to be able to develop deep respect to your mother, genuine affection to your mother, seeing the mother is the most important in your life, most attractive in all aspects of virtue. Is even in the context of good human beings' attitude, this is something is unbelievable. I mean, amazingly wonderful virtue, amazingly wonderful practice. Anyone who sees you do that, and anyone who knew you practice that way, you will be object of inspiration, object of others' respect, object of rejoice. You're able to bring immense benefit to harmonize between peoples, especially between children and parent, especially with the mother. Truly, she definitely truly deserve only respect. As a mother, deserve only respect. She earned the was it karmically the collective karma in relation to child and mother. She earned all the respect, and we have to express that respect, as a child, as children. And she earned the qualities of attraction just simply being as a mother, just simply giving birth to one precious human rebirth, the precious human rebirth. That's you, who right now, meet the Mahayanic Guru, Mahayanic Dharma, and some more the essence, the introduced with the practice of altruism, Bodhicitta, and you are training in developing Bodhicitta. Very much you carry sincere motivation and dedicate entirety of your existence, your life, in the service of numberless sentient beings, not just temporary, but up to enlightenment. That's what you have dedicated. That's your motivation. That's your purpose, to practice the Dharma. If you ask yourself, that's your purpose, isn't it? That's true. And the contribution that one person, one precious human rebirth bring, and the contribution of peace, happiness, virtue, positivity in the whole universe, in the whole existence, even though it's just one person, but the contribution is huge. It pervades the whole world, even though you are in Perth. You are in what Bangshia Terrace. Bangshia Terrace. Yes. I don't know what is the number. 64 Bangshia Terrace. Even though you're here, but your energy, the positive energy, the energy that carry a huge contribution to peace and virtue, more than that, perfected virtue, to the whole world, to the whole world. You literally pervades of your blessings to the whole world, because of this altruistic motivation and altruistic dedication that you have generated in your heart, by meeting the teachings of the Mahayana or the teachings of the Bodhicitta. I see. It's like you're like a relics of the Buddha. You're truly, you think carefully, you're truly like as precious as like a Buddha's relics, Buddha's relics. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, the others receive blessings from you. You see, the benefit. Even your family member, your friend, or even if you go to the restaurant, just this, casual staff in the restaurant get opportunity to make a cup of tea for you. That person is so blessed by your positive energy because of you have generated the altruism as a motivation, as intention to your life, to your existence, and you have dedicated your life in altruistic purpose because of that. You see, that the person who served the cup of tea or food, conditioned to ripen he or her Buddha nature, without delaying much. You see, even someone that who always criticizes you, remembering your name, just because of this altruism, even that harm giver receive unbelievable benefit to condition, his Buddha nature to be ripened. You see, so you are as powerful as Buddha's relics, if not more, but not less. As powerful. You see, the moment you see, if you read the first chapter of this Bodhicharya, the benefit of the Bodhicitta, then if you read the Nagarjuna's in the Precious Garden, then the Asanga's teaching. So there are so many, Asanga's the level of meditation. So then in Paramita, Paramita Sutta by Maitreya, the benefits. The moment you just even creative Bodhicitta means, as I mentioned before, not even realize yet. Just motivational, because you heard it is good, beneficial. So you tend to just express in your heart the definition that we discuss. May I be Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And I dedicate my life for that. At least once a day we will do in the morning when we wake up, we dedicate the rest of our day like that, isn't it? You see. And just because of that attitude, one time, arise in you, you become an object of others' accumulation of merit. Whatever other relate to you, especially relate to you with virtue, like prostration, making offerings, help or whatever, you become object of merit for other person to accumulate merit. You see. So now, this precious human rebirth, how amazing your continuum may be in the past, without the contribution, without rending mother's womb, you don't have that. You don't have that precious human body without mother rending the womb, isn't it? Without mother's egg, how amazing, continuum that you may be. You may carry your consciousness from the past. You can't actualize this, this human body, especially this precious human body. See, so from this point of view, as a Dharma practitioner, if you have any inconvenience to your mother, it's right here. Have to cleanse it, purify it, and right here, without delay even a moment, you have to develop, that difficult relationship and the understanding of that difficult relationship into the heart of, unconditional love, unconditional respect, and really genuine virtuous attraction. Remembering this reason, now she is unbelievable virtuous attraction, and she is absolutely object of your affection. You see, she's the supreme, most beneficial existing in your life. Okay. So, yeah, we have to come to that point. If you're really serious about this training, you have to pass through this. If you can't succeed this, then the old mother sentient being is just an empty word. You know, and one of the reasons we may give with my mother is difficult, but I can practice that with my husband, my wife, or my children, or my friend, or my pet. We may think that, but the affection, the attraction, the love that you develop to mother, there's no better object to develop pure love, pure affection, pure attraction, not stained by attachment. With children, there's a danger of having sense of attachment, danger. With husband, with a wife, danger, of element of attachment involved. With friend, there's a danger. But with mother, with this valid reasoning, that the role of the mother to the child, when the child develops that kind of respect, that kind of virtue to the mother, is very much by nature. There's no possibility of stained by those negative emotions, like attachment, etc. It will end. The end result will be pure, virtuous, virtuous merit, end result of developing love to the mother like that. You see. So then there are if one went through maybe when we are little, maybe beat up by mother or scold, and we feel mother didn't love enough, mother didn't care, rather I remember only she scolded me, or she beating up. Can you remember how naughty you are? You have to, if we are very loving, obedient child, I don't think mother just, like for her fun, she won't scold you, there's no fun in scolding people, is it? It's really draining energy, and it's negative. It's not good, so either yourself must be very naughty, always create problem, bring problem, and then for the benefit of your own sake, mother will protect you by disciplining you. Therefore, she must have expressed scoldings, or even maybe need to cane you. You see, so even that caning is only for the benefit of your well-being. That scolding is only benefit of your well-being. See, now from the other aspect, even though you really know that I'm not naughty boy, naughty kid, really something is wrong with my mother, then as a position of mother, by nature, will never have this is a natural kind of karma, natural law, you can say that. It's a karmic production. As a position of mother, will never harm others, will never harm their children. We still have this unconditional love. You see, as a position of mother to child is always unconditional love. You see, even in case the mother really relate to the child, the negative way, scolding, beating, or whatever negative way, if she relates, it has to be by others' power to the mother. The mother behave that to the mother's child. As a mother will never behave like that to the child, her own child. But because of the other power could be power of collective karma of the past, power of delusion, her past karma, result into a suffering. Maybe she may be going through stress, maybe going through, then she just bursts out and you as a child always around the mother, then you become the victim. As a potential mother, she will never do that, but because of other power. See, now the other power as a power by delusion, even in immediate condition, could be delusion. She was overpowered by anger, overpowered by attachment, overpowered by any form of other delusions. You see, because of that, and that also again very much conditional, the environment where she's in. But otherwise, at the position of mother, with her conscious, she will never. Her heart is only unconditional love to the child. You see, and there are situations, like environmental situation. The mother may be in a very difficult environment. You see, then with so much stress, suffering, then in the environment of certain family environment, which really put a very difficult position of the mother, then your child like trapped in between, and then you think the mother is the one that abused you, mother is the one that hurt you, harm you, or didn't love enough, etc. There may be such, if there's a such relationship, difficult relationship happen. So then for training in this particular, the first point, so you need to use all these reasons. So these are just a few examples. So you can use even more elaborate examples that which suits to your understanding. At the end, you just need to convince completely. Only attraction. The mother's relation to you is only benefit. Only benefit. You see, and all the other unfavorable relations that you have, everything that you have to find a reason to prove it is not in the position of mother have done that to you. You see, so that's how that you purify all those negative ideas about mother. Then when you think about even verse teaching emphasize, just illustrate in a bland word, like 9 months in her womb, just to save this precious human rebirth that you are enjoying now, like the precious human rebirth, put it in a position, that if you really work hard on the given body by your parent, you can be enlightened. In this question, so that much help that mother had provided, okay. So is it the 9 months? Can you imagine? Sometimes you only meditate, you see, and if the meditation doesn't really hits, in deep feeling, then you feel like, you're going to get about 1-2 kilos. I heard baby is like 2 kilos, 3 kilos when in the, like, let's say 5-6 weeks, like 7-8 weeks, more than 1 kilo. No, how many kilos? 2 or 3 kilos, isn't it? So 2 or 3 kilos. Okay, so you can start with the first week, second week, third week, or maybe first week maybe too early, maybe. But then again, it carry when you know that you're conceived, then the responsibility that mother takes to protect, especially if you are not known about the medical point of view, you feel like something is there, and I move a little bit, may cause a life of the. You may have that kind of concern. It's you see, so the mothers, what they eat, how they sleep, how they work, whatever they do, everything in the concern of making sure you are not hurt. Your life is like protected. You see, as if like more important than protecting her own life. Okay, as if like protecting her own life, but the attitude is, she invests even more than protecting her life to protect the child's life. The mothers behave like that. They innately they do like that. You see, so like 5-6 weeks, to really make sense. Sometimes, really, I sometimes suggest people, you are training through this, then maybe best maybe you go and get from your garden maybe 1-2 kilo of rocks. Because rice, I think it's a bit too comfortable. Because it's like this in the flesh, the inside, this one rounding, like poking here and there. It's so uncomfortable, isn't it? So if you put a rock, then even being outside, at least the rock poking here and there, I think maybe make you feel better, make you feel more, real. So anyway, yeah, but at least you may try to use 1-2 kilos of rice, tie on your stomach, then wear the pajama, then go to bed, say everybody good night and see whether you will have a good night or not. And the next morning he said, no, he said, how was your night? Oh, terrible. I can't sleep. I was unable to sleep like that. So anyway, so you find every single means to really to how much sacrifices that you might have done to save the precious human life. How much benefit that she had brought up to this. I mean, the most precious life that you ever had. You can even say, I mean, there's no more precious life that ever taken in from beginningless lifetime up to now among this numberless rebirths. If sometimes you think, you see, we are born in the time where compassion with the charity come in the guru human form, and we have access to teaching and transmissions, blessings, the vows. If we happen to born, even like 60 years before also, sorry, in the last life, some other life, we will not have that opportunity. And if we born in other time, don't know whether we will have such opportunity or not. But the life that we are now talking about, us, that who meet this particular practice, you see, so the favorable practitioner. So for us, honestly, there's no more fortunate, time than this time. You can really logically can understand. You see, we met unbelievable guru like Lama Zopa Rinpoche, living with Sattva, unbelievable. In the world, when you go to search, is there any Lama like Lama Zopa Rinpoche, the whole life live like that? It's very difficult. Unbelievable Lamas out there, unbelievable, realized, qualified, but from the enlightened being side, to manifest, the characteristic of the Buddhism directly and relating to us, is rare to find, to the lacking of our own merit. So like sometimes think about, myself, how low merit, how limited merit I may be carrying, but such enlightened guru, they still provide the benefit, even of this kind of people. Even how fortunate you may, how limited merit you may have, but then these enlightened gurus, they come to our level and come and directly benefit us. What can be more fortunate time than that? What can be more fortunate than that, isn't it? Like look at like His Dalai Lama, the accessibility of his teaching, unbelievable. Oh God, even in Tibet, when he was in Tibet, he come out once a year like that during Malam time. Otherwise, he's very much kind of like isolated with the public appearance and more questionable teaching. But now, it's and specifically his main emphasis of teachings, Bodhicitta emptiness, is the main body teaching. You see that he did. He passed down the blessing, not just commentary, but even passed down precepts like Bodhisattva vows. I don't know whether today or tomorrow this initiation is going on, but I heard initially, I thought that if it's today, I thought maybe we can rather attend the teaching, but it seems like in Leh there's a heavy rain occurred, a lot of flood or something like that. And I think the teaching was postponed to tomorrow or something like that. So try your best to attend, because His Holiness is a compassionate Buddha, no doubt. You see, from conventional in our ordinary, even from the ordinary mind, when you nakedly view him, Even to the ordinary mind, you see absolute Bodhisattva. You see, and no question about rationalizing it, contemplating on his deeds and conducts and qualities is no doubt in Buddha. But even to the ordinary mind, you see, no doubt he's not Bodhisattva, he's Bodhisattva. No doubt it's the cherising like that, you see. So now he's, I think, giving cherising indication. Then surely there will be Bodhisattva precepts, So and he really carry the authority. He's always openly claimed he's like kind of the keeper of the compassionate Buddha 26 mandala. So in fact he's the central mandala, central deity of the mandala, and he himself, he carried this authority of the blessing, and he permit with the reality of today's what you call the like internet, the tools of internet, as well as also the reality that his honest, the conventionally physically is really mature age. Then it's not, even he wish also, but the world is not easy to come to us in person, wherever we are. But so then he permit that even initiations we can receive when we attend, even through that online. So he already put all of us wherever we are in the mandala of the initiation. So you can receive initiation like that. You can receive the Buddhist vow like that. So it's almost like can't miss to can't afford to miss, if possible, any of his honest teachings that offers, and especially like Buddhist precepts and charity initiations. You see, so okay, now I'm where I am. It's mother. Yes. So mother. Yes. So yes. So it's fortunate. Talking about like unbelievable. We are born. Our mother, our parent. Condition us to have this precious human rebirth in the most fortunate time, where the compassionate Buddha in human form. Even both reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, his Dalai Lama already emphasized that he's actually most successful one, benefiting sentient being, reaching up to sentient being. His deeds are really been one of the most effective in relation to his, the 14 reincarnations up to date, like that. So we happen to born in the 13th Dalai Lama's time, 12th Dalai Lama's time. Not as fortunate, like, we are born in the 14th Dalai Lama's time, So it's really, really, so this, all this amazing thing, our parents give to us. You see, the body that we think that this is my body, we falsely claim it's our parents' body. It's not our body. And what we really own is the continuum of consciousness. And that, to survival of that consciousness in this human body also is within the indestructible drop that we receive from Father, Mother, and we are regarded as a ngalde come to them, the human being, just born as a human being in the southern world, it becomes one of the most favorable being to the, most favorable being to be blessed by Dharma, most favorable being. Among that, then having the precious human rebirth, then even most favorable, and among the precious human rebirth here, the precious human body exists at a time that we can hold all the 3 precepts, which I also mentioned, I think, on the first day, that highlights, or that I'll say, from the uncommon Mahayanic Vajrayana point of view, the defining of precious human rebirth is, someone who has capability, or who holding the 3 precepts, individual liberation precept, Buddhist precept, Tantric precept, and most of us, we hold that, we have these 3 precepts. If not, we aspire for the 3 precepts, and we have all the freedom, we have all the conditions, even just from one guru, like his son Dalai Lama, you can receive refuge, individual liberation precept, 5 labor precept, which almost every teaching that you can take that, and especially during Buddha's holidays, especially during any teaching, the refuge is granted. Even there's no specific word of ceremony, go the refuge is must. Then Bodhisattva vows, and Tantric vows, So all this we have the option to receive it, in very comfortable from your bed, So Ngaji come to then is especially is regarded most favorable to practice Tantra. So the 6 elements, 6 elements on top of the 4 elements like fire, water, earth, wind, then father's drop and mother's egg. So this becomes 6 elements. And even you have 4 elements, if you don't have the 2 elements that which receive from father, mother, we won't have this basis of channels, drop. Chakra channel drops are main basis to activate the subtle wind, the subtle energy, then the subtle mind, the clear light mind. You see, without that, there's no basis to enjoy the natural clear light onto the path. Without that, no basis to enjoy all the amazing the Bodhi mandalas, of the daily yoga practice, because of these 6 elements. You see, and our parents give us that. Unbelievable, isn't it? Think about that. Unbelievable. You see, so there's no room for us to have any, seeing limitations in our parents, and especially mother. First we succeed with the mother, then go to father. Then you go to the rest of the other loved one. You have the same understanding that they have given the same benefit. If they have not, they will in the future. Because as already here it says, we will have endless life in the future. Even after we have enlightened, when you want to come and benefit sentient being, like Siddhartha, Shakyamuni Buddha enlightened long time ago. But when he came into the world, he has to have a parent, Mother Maya, King Shuddhodana, isn't it? He has to come as a human being. So he cannot just, without parent, he cannot, even though it sounds like, Padmasambhava born from the lotus, all this. No, I think Padmasambhava has a parent also. That's one of the, then, like Shakyamuni Buddha was born from, it can be born from here, born from here, but womb is needed. We call the Ngake come to then, So in order to be in the womb, the substance of father and mother is needed, and that defines, the perfect human body. You see, so rest of the sentient being, we have taken many human lives. Everybody's just thinking about saving your life, by mother, and especially like looking at my level of practice, my level of diligence, the smartness. You're going to take eons and eons to really succeed on the path. Eons and eons, and the most favorable body to practice is in the human realm. Is a human realm. So I really need to take many countless human lives. Maybe not necessarily in this universe, maybe in other universe. And each time I take human life, I need parent. So one mother, one father is not enough time. You see, so therefore, each and every one of you have to be in fact, already been mother before. I have been your mother, you have been my mother, and you will be my mother. I will be your mother also in future. Maybe many times, taking round and taking turn like that. Anyway, so scripturally there are a lot of examples for us to really use, for us to make us think So these are the few examples that usually, like what I try to think, when I try to do meditation like that, try to use these examples. Only one thing I haven't tried is the time the rock yet. I'm just imagining, maybe soon should try it, but just imagining it, it's already like totally like lost your sleep. So yes, so so it is all the Mayani gurus then who teach Lamrim, who teach Lojong, those, and especially our lineage gurus, they always emphasize. Even our gurus have mentioned like in the past, such as His Holiness Ling Rinpoche, His Holiness Trijang Dorje, and even like Dechen Yingbo, they always emphasize in the teaching discourse. The first point, recognizing all sentient beings as a mother. There, even it takes whole life also, dedicated time to develop that. How much energy, how much time it requires, take it. Once you develop realization on recognizing all sentient beings as your mother, rest of the realization, remembering their kindness, repaying the kindness, developing compassion, love, heartedness, bodhicitta will just like comes in your way, easily. You see, so it's like that. Okay, so I have only 5 minutes. So they're cultivating the remembering of their kindness. So very much. This is what I said here. That's it. Imagine your mother clearly in front of you. I think that following few times. Not only she has been my mother at the present, but she has been so an incredible number of times, throughout beginner's existence. As your mother, she protected you from all the harm and provided you all the benefits and happiness. Particularly in this lifetime, she cared out for a long time in her womb, etc. like that. So I will not read all things. Then after this, cultivating wish to repay your mother kindness. The great Pandita Center we have letter to the student stated here. So while you see that your relatives and in group feel the oceans of silent existence and are falling into the pit of fire, there's nothing more shameful than to work for your own liberation, neglecting those whom you do not recognize due to the process of death and rebirth. So this is, to cultivate the heart to repay the kindness of your mothers, this lifetime, then also to the rest of the other sentient beings, why, all those different kindness that you don't remember because of the interruption of, death, rebirth, so you just forgotten, and that's quite obvious, with our personal mother. There's so much all this kindness we don't really remember, we think about it then only, otherwise, sometimes we are too focused on our own self-interest, and we totally forgotten, like that. You see. So you see, so you start to repay the kindness in a simple way. You can practice. I think in the West, I think it's quite good in one way that you have this culture of celebrating, birthday, then, like buying flowers, bringing her for dinner. So we should do more. We should do more than before. So whenever you get opportunity to, buy meal for your parents, it's a great merit to have that opportunity. Then really, if they're staying together with them, then at least in morning, evening, before go to work, after come back, just like remembering to say how important they are in your life and how much you love them, express, and like offering them flowers, buying them gifts, etc. Even if they are not with you, then nowadays it's so easy to make calls, send messages, and even nowadays online you can order flowers, cakes and foods. Now it's become so easy to repay the kindness in many different gestures. So utilize them. It's good to utilize them. And most importantly, the best, one of the best repaying the mother's kindness is yourself living in as much virtues as possible, as many precepts as possible, because your body is their body, So therefore, unlikely than anyone else, this very life's parent, whatever merit we accumulate, logically that you can say they receive 100%. But if it's still, since it's a two different person and motivation is from you, then let's say minimum 80%. You think carefully, minimum 80% they receive. So whatever virtue you do. And similarly, whatever negative you do, they also receive 80% of that. Because we use the vehicle which is theirs, to perform virtue, like such as circumambulation, reciting mantras, when we recite mantra, can you imagine, reciting Om Mani Padme, unbelievable benefit, emphasize, reciting some mantra, reciting sutras, you see, we use tongue organ. Even though mind is ours, but the tongue organ is part of the body, is parents. The seed can grow from there, you see. So seeing holy object, we try to, by seeing holy object, we accumulate so much merit in seeing Buddha's holy object. Yeah. So, but we use eye organ. You see, we talk about unbelievable merit we accumulate by listening to the sutras, mantras, dharma. We use ear organ. You see, then we emphasize unbelievable merit during prostration to the holy object. We use his body. You see, then also the human intelligence. We use the human aggregates, and the major aggregates are the physical aggregates, the basis of this body. Then we're able to express this, like such as brain, good heart, good nervous system, that helps us to, have a smarter human intelligence. With the lineage master or the object of refuge or infinite, please bestow the virtues and goodness of completing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the many precious and complete teaching through explanation and practice. You were the armor of patience that is incredible, venerable Guru. To you, I make request. While striving single-pointedly to the sake of the victorious one's teaching, the soul will give way through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and form other living beings to suddenly depart to peace without great loss. Nevertheless, through the understanding, through the blessing, the oceans of the three jewels, and the great waves of the Bodhicitta, and the signs of the reincarnation should be in glories of cosmos. Oh yeah, then Lord of the Dharma, who is in accordance with the various expositions of those who will be subdued, make clear in the light of your well-spoken life and secret content tradition, essence of the Buddha's teaching, foremost the Holy Lama, to you who are supreme, make this very supplication. Lama, please live long. Yeah, so thank you very much. Then thank you for all the center committee members, the director, SPC, then Venerable Shojila and all the venerables. Then also each and every one of you for your precious time and your patience, your endurance, for this sessions in these few days. So thank you so much, greatly appreciate it, and please take good care and see you. Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
Just on behalf of the whole community here, thank you so much, Geshe, for the few days. I think